All right, let's talk about ChatGPT. It's one of the biggest, most powerful, and honestly, most misunderstood tools out there right now. So today, we're going to break it all down. Think of this as your user's guide to really mastering it. So what is this thing really? I mean, you've heard all the hype, right? Maybe you've even heard some of the horror stories. Is it this incredible creative genius? Or is it just a super confident liar? Well, the answer is kind of both. And figuring out why is the secret to actually using it well. Okay, so to really get to the bottom of that big question, we have to pop the hood and see what's actually going on inside. I promise, it's not magic. What it is an absolutely astonishing pattern engine. Let's dive into what that really means. Believe it or not, at its very, very core, this is all ChatGPT is doing. It's a text generator. Its whole job is to look at a bunch of words and then predict, with scary accuracy, what the next word or chunk of words should be. That's it. That's the whole trick. But when you train it on, basically the entire internet, that one simple trick becomes unbelievably powerful. Now, this is so important because it requires a total mental shift from us. We're all used to thinking of things like Google, right? A giant database of facts. But ChatGPT is not that. It doesn't know anything. It doesn't know Paris is the capital of France. What it knows is that it's seen billions of sentences where the words the capital of France are followed by the words is Paris. It's a subtle difference, but it is everything. It has no self-awareness, no lived experiences, just this world-class, almost magical ability to find and complete a pattern. Okay, so once you get that it's just a pattern matcher, you can start to see where its real superpowers are. So let's talk about the wow factor. What makes this thing so game-changing? Look, if you remember just one thing about what makes ChatGPT powerful, let it be this. Its incredible breadth. Its real magic isn't that it's the #1 expert in any single thing. It's that it's shockingly good at a huge range of different things, all from the same chat box. And seriously, that breadth is just staggering. I mean, just look at the kind of things it can do. One minute, you're asking it to draft a professional email. The next, you're having it outline a complex report. And then 5 seconds later, it's helping you write a chunk of code. That ability to just jump between completely different domains, that's what makes it the ultimate general-purpose tool. Oh, and did I mention it does all this in seconds, literally seconds. That speed is genuine superpower. It just crushes the feedback loop. Think about it. You can brainstorm 10 different headlines for an article or try out 5 different tones for an email in the same amount of time it would have taken you to just write one yourself. That's a huge boost for creativity and just getting stuff done. And it doesn't stop there. It's got a whole bag of other tricks. It's fantastic at abstraction. Taking a really complicated idea and explaining it with a simple analogy. It's an amazing creative partner for when you're stuck in a rut. It can be an incredibly patient tutor that you're never afraid to ask a dumb question. And maybe most importantly, it basically makes the cost of creating a first draft of anything almost zero. Okay, but with all that power comes some pretty big and actually very predictable weaknesses. These aren't random glitches or bugs. They're fundamental limitations of the system, and if you want to be a smart user, you have to know what they are so you can work around them. All right, let's talk about the big one, the one you've definitely heard about, hallucinations. This is when the model just makes stuff up, and it says these completely false things with all the confidence of a world expert. So, why on earth does it do that? Well, it goes right back to what we said at the beginning. Remember its job? Its goal is to write what's most plausible, what sounds right, not what's most truthful. So when it hits a gap in its knowledge, it doesn't stop. It just fills that gap with text that looks and feels correct. And you have to burn this into your brain. Plausible is not the same as true. But here's the good news. You are not helpless against this. You can totally fight back. First, don't let it guess. Give it the documents, the articles, the data to work with. Second, make it show its work. Ask for quotes and citations. Here's a pro tip, too. Explicitly tell it that it's allowed to say, I don't know. That can really help. And the golden rule, the one you can never forget, is to always verify. You're still the boss. Okay, weakness number 2 is a huge one. Bias. Think about it. The model learned from the internet, from text written by humans. So it also learned all of our biases, our stereotypes, and our skewed ways of looking at the world. And it can and will repeat those back to you. And again, this is not a bug. It's a feature of the training data. The model is basically a giant mirror held up to us, reflecting all the patterns in our language, the good, the bad, and the ugly. If our writing is full of bias, guess what? The model's writing is going to be full of bias too. But just like with hallucinations, there are things you can do. You can be really explicit in your prompt. Tell it up front. Follow these inclusive principles. You can ask it to argue from a different perspective or consider a counterfactual. And a really good one is to give it diverse examples to follow. Just like you'd guide a human assistant, you can guide the AI. So, we've seen the power, we've seen the dangers, which of course leads to the million-dollar question. How do you actually use this thing wisely? How do you get the good stuff without the bad stuff? Well, this next part is your practical playbook, your user's manual for operating this incredibly powerful and kind of tricky new tool. Rule number 1, be super precise. Tell it what its role is, what the goal is, and exactly what format you want back. Rule number 2, add context. Don't just imply it. Don't make it guess. If you're asking about an article, paste the article in. And rule number 3, pin down the structure. If you want a list, use bullets. If you want sections, use headings. It helps keep the AI from wandering off. Okay, next up, if you're dealing with facts, you gotta ground it. Make it use its web browser and demand citations. If you're doing something that needs to be perfectly exact, like math or running code, make it use the proper tools for that, like a calculator. And finally, the most important rule of all, one you can never, ever, ever break, you have to review its work. Always. You are the final judge. It's the assistant, you're the expert. You know, when you put all these rules together, they all point to one big thing, a fundamental shift in our mindset, a whole new way of thinking about what this tool even is and how we should work with it. And this, right here, is the key. This is the big idea. Treat it like a very powerful, very fast collaborator, not an all-knowing oracle. Its superpower isn't knowing everything. Its superpowers are its incredible speed, its fluency with language, and its flexibility. Think about it. All of its weaknesses, the hallucinations, the biases, they aren't random mysteries. They're totally predictable. And because they're predictable, you can build your process to work around them. You are in the driver's seat. You're the operator here. So there you have it. ChatGPT isn't some magical genius, and it's not some evil liar. It's a powerful pattern engine, a tool with absolutely incredible strengths and totally predictable weaknesses. We've given you the playbook. The real question is, what are you going to build with your new collaborator?